Hi, this is Domain 2 D&E, the initial response. Domain 2 has been established to ensure that our classroom environments promote learning. When the classroom environment is conducive to learning, then students don't have fear of being in the classroom and they are able to focus on the learning. Rita Pierson definitely says it best when she reiterates what all of us have heard for many years, that no student can learn without relationships. And for me, I think that building relationships with students is probably my favorite thing to do, because that's what makes me want to go and study and prepare lessons, and that's what makes me want to ensure that the students are learning. And when they aren't, that because I have a positive relationship with them, I want to find out why they're not learning and work to make sure that they can get whatever it is that they're missing. Sometimes being a teacher can be lonely because buildings are huge, and you're all maybe in one wing of the building. You all have different preps and you don't see each other except during PLC time, so it could be a very lonely place as far as adults personally having relationships with other adults. So, building positive relationships with students helps teachers too, and it makes teaching and all the work that goes into teaching more enjoyable. 2D talks about managing student behavior, and when students are engaged deeply with the content, they're less likely to pick fights, defy teachers, run around the classroom, be off task. The teacher's presence definitely makes a difference. So when they're moving around the room, they can sense conflict that's going on. They also can reduce confrontations and conflict and help to keep students engaged. When there is conflict between students, the teacher has to examine what is going on and what the intent of the students are. What was the intent? Did they intend to cause harm? Teachers should get to a point where they can recognize why students are misbehaving. That may be because they're nervous about the fact they're not prepared for class. Maybe they're completely bored. Or maybe they just lack social skills and low self-esteem, so they become disruptive in class. Teachers with good classroom management allow their students to help participate in creating the expectations or the class norms, as we've talked about. And they are also able to participate in developing the consequences if a student does not meet the expectations. In situations like these, the students feel like they are a part of the class. They can help all students stay within the boundaries and be encouraging themselves to each other. And this allows everyone to feel safe and secure, and it begins to lead to self-discipline, and that should be the ultimate goal as far as behavior. When teachers establish expectations, they need to make sure that they're very clear and posted so that everyone can see them. It's really good for administrators to be able to see them when they walk into a classroom, because it allows them to see that a teacher has set those expectations, and they can see when they're evaluating that the students know what's expected of them. The teacher should definitely consider the age, cultural norms, and the level of child development when creating the standards. Again, consistency is key so that no student ever feels like they're the only ones ever getting in trouble. Teachers should pay attention to what's going on among the students. Stay calm, cool, and collective. Address the behavior without demeaning the student. Actively encourage students to reflect on their behavior. And like I said, during observations, administrators should be able to note that the students are following expectations because they're posted, and they should also recognize when teachers respond consistently and in an encouraging manner. The Win-Win Rita Pierson video, in that one we were able to see what it looks like to confront a student who's caught cheating, who felt attacked, versus a time where respect was given to them. Rita spoke very stern to the student, and she talked about her boundary and the fact that he crossed the boundary cheating on the test. She stated what she knew about him cheating in the past and this time, and she gave him a choice. She said, you have an F on this test. You're welcome to fix the problem by taking a test that's going to be more difficult. The choice is yours. So she left it in his hands, and he said, he felt respected, and consequences didn't change, but he felt respected, and that's important. 2E is all about organizing physical space, and there's 3 elements that teachers should consider when they organize their space. 1, it should be a safe place that's conducive to learning, and teachers should make sure they're accommodating all their students who need accommodations for success. I know with that, I had a student that was born with congenital cataracts, and she could see as long as she was able to move around the classroom when needed. So there was just an underlying agreement that she had with all of her teachers. When she couldn't see, she could move and make accommodations for herself, and never had a problem with that. If she needed the lights out to be able to see what was going on because of glare, teachers would quickly do that. So that was just allowing her to have the accommodations that she needed to be successful. Furniture should be arranged in a way that's also conducive to learning, and it's really good if it can be changed quickly for different types of instruction, but that's not always possible. And the teacher's materials that are needed in order to teach should be arranged so that they can easily be picked up and used to engage students. When observed, the teacher should be seen using the space effectively for learning, and if asked, the teacher should be able to explain how the space is used to help all of her students achieve, or his students achieve. So in the videos, just some key takeaways from those: clear out stuff that you don't need, and make sure you can put your hands on things that you do need quickly. Be efficient with your space so that students can get around and gather the things that they need quickly. If possible, have your individual desks in a way that they can be changed quickly so that all students could be in groups. I liked how the one guy, he had 6 different stations, I guess so to speak, where the editing, that's what I'm saying, and writing spot, the professional space, the library, and I loved how he had the students work in books so they could even read their own work if they wanted to. Then he had his student work areas and collaboration group areas. Flexible seating areas are great because they allow shared work space so that you can have collaboration. Teachers have to have a vision for their room before they start, and they have to be willing to throw away all the things that are not needed. So that's what I took away from Domain 2, D, and E.